Hello, Dr. Sachi. Thank you. Thanks a lot for joining with Pagal Guy for this very insightful interview. We're really looking forward to understanding your take on the trends that are shaping the MBA industry in the current times, and also understanding how iBusiness Institution is keeping up with these trends and making sure you're having students or managers that are equipped for the sustainable future.
Ma'am, thank you for having me, giving me this platform wherein I can connect with the students and the management aspirants. So thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure, ma'am. So, ma'am, you have somebody who has 7+ years of experience in analytics. After that, you have joined academia. How did this part of academia come across for you?
Right. So if I talk about my experience, I started off with my career with TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. And there, I worked on different roles in different projects, and both in India, in abroad, in US, UK. And while working as project manager, as team lead, I got the opportunity to, work with the team members, giving them certain insights of my experiences, my functional and technical expertise which they required. And that is the point which I think, gave me that kick to, connect with them and connect with people to share my knowledge with them. And that is where I decided that this taken full time would give me a lot of, it would be an amazing experience for me. And that is where I thought I'll be, taking up academia or joining academia full time. And if I talk about, after my stint with TCS, there were a lot of freelancing work in analytics, which I took up. And while working there with, for the projects, I also got in touch with few of the, directors and deans of the various institutions in Delhi NCR. Now that was the, turning point in the way that they wanted me to be on board for certain sessions for their students. And that's how I got into academia, and I really love being there. Youth of India, being the future of India, is what I'm connected to, and I'm contributing in a way to, help them with their career prospects and with the kind of future that we are looking in for. So that gives a lot of satisfaction to me. So I also take that as a responsibility, a huge responsibility, taking care of the youth of the India. So that's how I think this journey is really fulfilling for me.
Got it, ma'am. Ma'am, as a dean of an institution and as the head of an academics, it's always viewed that MBA is something that, in align with the happenings of the business and the in the economy around it. What, according to you, ma'am, are a few trends that you have noticed that you feel are significant for MBA education and would really help or, affect the trajectory of MBA in the next 3 to 6 years?
Correct. So that's a very interesting question, Jella. And I must say, when we talk about the recent trends, one thing which definitely is there is the technological advancements. The digital transformation which is taking place in every domain, in every area. We have fintech industry coming up in the finance field. We have AR, VR in the advertising also. So marketing is getting impacted in a huge way, be it operations, be it, HR, with HR analytics. We see a huge change, significant difference in the working style. So this digital transformation is one thing which is definitely a trend which has come up, and the PGDM institutes, MBA institutes need to incorporate this in their course curriculum so as to educate the PGDM graduates of the industry trends. And this is going to be there. We've seen this change happening the past few years, and it will continue to be with, AI, generative AI, all these coming up. That is surely one way to, make changes in the business scenario. The other thing is the hybrid professional requirement. So when we talk about technical skills, definitely that is important. But at the same time, the non-technical aspect, the, softer skills, the managerial skills also take a very important role. And That is where the PGDM students or MBA students come into play with their managerial capabilities, enhancing with the kind of, discussion around the technical area, but expressing it so well and putting forth their thought process in this whole system. So that again, the hybrid professionals requirement can be taken up by the PGDM institutes in shaping up the career for the PGDM students. And we see that the startups in India, there has been so many, startups in the previous years, and with pandemic coming up, we've seen a steady increase, in fact, huge increase in the startups. And according to Data Labs report, around 100,000 startups would, come up by 2025. So places like Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai, where these are the startup hubs, they are, bringing in so many new employment, generating employment. So as PGDM institutes, where you have entrepreneurship is a very important aspect in any PGDM course curriculum or MBA course curriculum. That is something that, we are contributing, or the PGDM courses are contributing for the businesses to, take up this trend of startups and new ventures.
Got it, ma'am. So, ma'am, how is iBusiness Institution ensuring that these trends are incorporated into the curriculum and the course structure of the students, so that the students are well prepared once they are out of the institution and actually facing the business industry?
Correct. Right. So at iBusiness Institute, what we do is, we keep a very technology relevant curriculum, industry centric curriculum, wherein, we make changes to the curriculum, design it in such a way that whatever is the requirement of the industry at present is catered. So more of, cloud computing, or, Python, or all these, tools and technologies. When we talk about Tableau as a data visualization tool, all that is in the course curriculum for the students, so that, they are technologically at par with whatever is the requirement of the industry. Also, when we have courses of entrepreneurship in our course curriculum, the students who have, a bent of entrepreneurial bent of mind, they are the ones who are really keen on, taking their ideas to the next level. So we do conduct a lot of business plans. We have workshops on entrepreneurship, and of course courses are there, and we have business plan competitions arranged for the students in the college, and whoever has an idea can, present the business plan. So they are, mentored by the faculty to how to make presentations of the business plan, understanding what are the nuances of the entrepreneurship requirements and all. And then they present it. Those who qualify go in to present it at the country level, at IIM Bangalore, IIM Kolkata. We have, tie-ups with eCell, IIM Kolkata and IIM Bangalore, and Make in Turn, who are, conducting such business plans, and students from various institutions visit. So competing with those students, our students get that, exposure, and they understand how to present themselves before others. So that is one way in which we are contributing to the entrepreneurship. Now, talking about the soft skills, we have so many, sessions for the students for their soft skill development. So personality enhancement, personality grooming is something that we look forward to when a student is about to enter the professional world. And we pay a lot of emphasis to it. So we have personality grooming sessions. We also have communication, professional communication, effective communication for the students arranged, so that they are able to present their thoughts well. Also, along with this, we have so many, certification programs, all aligned with the industry requirement. So be it, say, cybersecurity or behavioral finance. So we are taking this up, or HR analytics, marketing analytics, digital marketing. All this are part of the course curriculum, in the sense that as certifications or as, non-credit courses, we introduce it. So that is how we try to keep up with whatever are the changes happening, and to, make our students relevant with the recent industry trends.
Got it, ma'am. So when we speak about MBA curriculum, we cannot miss the conversation around the industry influence or the exposure of the students to the real business world. So
Correct.
when we're talking about this, you did mention a few trends that you see have a significant impact on the MBA as a degree. How does this conversation or how does this process look like of making these trends getting discussed at the faculty table to them getting incorporated into the curriculum of the students or into the day-to-day class structure of the students?
Right. So what happens is, definitely, as you mentioned, this is something that is taken up within the faculty fraternity. First, it is discussed, and it is, a lot of brainstorming happens, wherein how we should be conducting, what should be the pedagogy, so that, everything needs to be given to the students within this 2-year program. And a lot has to be, worked upon in a very effective and efficient way. So for that, we do make changes to the pedagogy, or, we try to make it, more practical oriented. We have more of case studies happening. As I mentioned about the tool integration in our course curriculum, we try doing it over tools, maybe Excel, maybe using such tools like Tableau and all, wherein they have the data with them and they can, generate insights from the data. So using all this, and Excel is one which is required across industry, across domains. So most of the courses that we run, we generally have it over Excel along with the data, because we see that, data and insights generation from data is taking a new turn altogether. So that is something that needs to be incorporated, and that is what we discuss and we try to bring about. Also, with the new non-credit courses that I talked about, so certain things which cannot be made a part of the course curriculum, but since it is very essential, we try to give it as a non-credit course. So something on cyber security, which is really important for the students to know, because as far as the technology is concerned, we know that technology would be there in the business world, but using it ethically, and also whatever risks are involved, is something that needs to be given to the students. They should know about the those aspects as well. So cyber security is one thing which they should be aware of, so that is what is taken into account. Say behavioral finance, something which is very important for the students. Ethical considerations for everything needs to be taught. So all this is, incorporated in the form of maybe certification programs, or maybe as non-credit courses, and are given along with the course curriculum.
Got it. Professor Sachi, I actually agree with the resonation part that you covered in this particular insight. Specifically, a lot of students are driven by the fact that the institution is offering the most advanced course when it comes to technology or when it comes to skills. But somewhere in the conversation, I believe we are letting loose a part wherein the principles of understanding how these implications are affecting maybe human resources or the society in general plays a very important role. So thanks for sharing those insights with us. So ma'am, when a student considers an MBA or a PGDM program, one of the most important factors that they would consider is the placement opportunities. How is iBusiness Institution ensuring that you are providing the best possible placement opportunities to your students? And how does the placement process of your institution look like?
Okay, so placement process definitely plays a very important role for any student to decide upon their, which PGDM college to choose. And at IBI, what we do is, from the very beginning when a student joins, we do the profiling of the student. So they undergo a 50-day orientation program, and then they join the trimester system of the courses that happen. So all during this time, the faculty mentors are assigned to every student, and their skill set mapping is done. So whatever are their strengths, we try to enhance and leverage their strengths, and whatever are the weaknesses are something that needs to be worked upon. So all that is looked into, and the students profiling is done, basis which they would be choosing upon the specialization. So they are guided, because that is one area which students really face a problem as to what specialization they should choose. Where exactly do they find their fitment in the industry? So that is all done as part of their journey at IBI. And during this process, we also have a lot of grooming sessions, as I mentioned earlier. We have etiquette sessions, professional etiquette and all, which are all important while they appear for the placement processes. And there are mock GDs, mock interviews conducted for them, aptitude tests conducted for them, so they are well prepared before the placement happens. Basis that, a lot of job roles and job opportunities come up, and the placement department, along with the student volunteers in placement cell, work with the industry closely, get their JDs. So the JDs are floated with the students, and those who show their keenness and interest in that particular JD nominate themselves. A pre-placement process happens, pre-placement talk happens, where the industry people are here at the campus, and talking about their work and what are the requirements. And then they undergo the process of aptitude test, GDs and interviews. And after that, the selection happens for the students. And we are very proud to say that 100% placement is there for few students who get placed in one company, and still after that there is some JD which really interests them further. They are allowed to sit there also, and they can, if they are able to crack that, they are given that opportunity, if at all they are really interested in, to take up those roles. So that way, it's a robust placement process that happens. And around 180 companies have already visited during this academic year, and the placement profiles have been really good.
Got it, ma'am. So, ma'am, you did mention the selection process that you follow at IBI when you're choosing institution. What, according to you, ma'am, are the skills that are lacking in the students in the current batches that you have seen that you feel would have been a great fit if in case the students had it, and it's a trend that you're seeing across? Because I had a conversation with a similar head of institution. What he mentioned was that currently what he's seeing in students is the abundance of knowledge, and hence the ability to ask questions is reducing. He believes that, and even I do, that if you're not the idiot in the village who's asking the questions, then you've stopped growing, no matter how much knowledge you get. So what is your take on this, man? What are the skills that you feel are required in the students when you are pursuing an MBA or a management degree that you feel the students of the current generations are not focusing on?
Right. Very interesting question, I must say. So definitely when we talk about students, and as you mentioned that students do have abundance of knowledge, and also with that comes that dilemma, that confusion as to what should they do, because they know everything, uh, maybe in bits and pieces, but they do not know where to focus upon. So that lack is there while focusing upon which area to choose. So that is one thing which is really important, and something that needs to be looked into, because if you lose your focus, you might be good at many things, but then you might not get the results that you want to achieve. And that applies for when we do a SWOT analysis of the students. That's the reason when we talk about their strengths, we always tell them that leverage those strengths. don't just focus upon your weakness. Weaknesses are there to improve, definitely that is there. But along with that, the strength needs to be leveraged further so that you become an expert in that area. And also, I would say, having abundance of knowledge, but then, expressing yourself, you should be able to, communicate freely with whatever you have is one area which needs to be, worked upon. So lot has to be worked upon the communication. That is the reason why IBI pays a lot of emphasis on communication. So we made changes in the course curriculum. We have business communication being taken in all the 3 trimesters in the first year, because we've seen that that is one area which needs to be, groomed. The students need to be groomed in that area very well.
Got it, ma'am. Ma'am, my next question is a little bit controversial, because the education industry is still not taken a stand on where it stands vis-a-vis the topic. Chat GPT is currently a disruptor across, and it has been in conversation, be it in terms of students, be it between faculties, and so on. So, what, according to you, ma'am, is ChatGPT? Is it a collaborator for MBA degrees, or is it a disruptor for MBA?
Wonderful. This is one question which I think is there with all the students as well. So, the aspirants also have this question. Is it a competitor or a collaborator? Are we going to lose our jobs? Are we going to get a job or not? Is something because of the advent of AI, generative AI, chat GPT. So that is there in the minds of most of them. And it's always, making them collaborators is something that we need to work upon. I mean, even if that confusion comes as if it becoming a competitor, we should understand how we cannot make it a competitor, or what are the ways in which we have to eliminate that idea of AI or chat GPT becoming a competitor. Now, how we can do is basically being at the top of the, that technology. So if we have generative AI, chat GPT with us, how does that processing happens? What is the technological advancement? If we upgrade ourselves to understand the working of it, then we are definitely the, masters of that technology. And then it would work more as a collaborator. If all the repetitive work is taken by AI, and all the, decision making aspects are taken by the humans, by the PGDM aspirants, by the PGDM students. Now, if that is done, then it would work as a collaborator. If we talk about the decision making aspect, if we talk about the innovative thinking, critical problem solving, this is something which only the humans will be able to do. That is where the AI would lack its relevance. That human touch which is required is something that needs to be given importance by every individual. And that is why ethical consideration is one thing which is very important. That is the reason why it is important to have that humane angle, emotional intelligence, or emotional quotient, which is to be there, which can have a one-to-one touch with the others, is something which we cannot expect from AI. And there we have an edge over them. So these are the ways in which, we can make it more of a collaborator than a competitor. But if we lose, somewhere with the technology, that would be a big disruption for the humankind. So I'm sure this is not what we are looking for the future. This is something that we have to work upon, and we have to make it as a collaborator.
Got it, ma'am. So, ma'am, currently we are at the center of the admission cycle. Most of the institution IIMs have already concluded their admission processes, and major tier 1 and tier school are currently accepting applications. When it comes to this process, students are generally confused around which institutions to apply, and which is the right fit in terms of an institution, and the right fit in terms of an MBA or a degree forming. What, according to you, ma'am, are 5 factors that student should consider when applying to a particular B school, or when selecting B schools?
Right, right. So definitely that confusion is there amongst the aspirants, amongst the students. And few areas that they should definitely be looking into is the accreditation process. What are the accreditation that that particular institute has got? Is it AICT approved? Is it approved by the Ministry of Education, Government of India? And what kind of reputation it has in terms of faculty, in terms of the alumni network? How are they doing? What credentials they have? So that becomes really important. Also, what curriculum is being followed? Is it industry centric? Is it based on what is the latest trends? So that is also that plays an important role, whether the technology has been used in the course curriculum. Also, what are the various certifications being provided? So is there any global perspective to the whole thing? Are there any uh, maybe certifications or associations with the global network? Is there more tie-ups with say universities abroad, so that you have collaborative research work happening, so that you can enhance your further knowledge? So all this becomes really important. How is the placement process? How is the placement happening? What types of companies visit? How the various networking happens? Are there HR meets happening wherein the HRs of various industry coming over to talk to the students? What are the various ways in which industry interventions happening in the institute? Corporate sessions, speakers from various the stalwarts of the industry coming over or not? And whether the students are having a network with the industry experts.
Got it, ma'am. So my next question is a little personal, and for somebody who is heading an institution, who has had a great career in terms of corporate, and somebody who has inspired so many minds at iBusiness institution. How do you see, what is your definition of success, ma'am, and how do you measure success, be it personal or professional?
Okay, so success, we know, is a very subjective term. It totally depends on the person, the perspective a person has. Few things which are important when I consider success to be is whether that feeling of contentment, that feeling of satisfaction at the end of the day, am I achieving it or not, is where my success lies. If I am able to contribute in the ways that I have thought of contributing, and if I am making a change in uh, different in people, in their perspective, for the betterment of them, that's where my success would lie. But of course, if I talk in general terms, success could mean different for different people. Achieving their career goals, achieving the goals that they've set out for themselves, be it professionally, be it personally, definitely would give them a sense of satisfaction and would be counted as success. For people, for some of them, it is the financial growth and stability and development in that area gives them a kick, and that's what they feel, that success is this. And that actually is true when they are able to take care of their family in the manner in which they would have envisioned. So that is something, definitely it again gives them that satisfaction that at the end of the day, whatever working I have put in, I'm able to do it for my family, would definitely count as a success. Also, maintaining good work-life balance. So with this, an important aspect when we talk about work-life balance, we see that few of them are totally into their professional arena. Few might be giving a good amount of time to the personal and professional both arena if we talk about. So again, it would depend on the person, but maintaining a good work-life balance would definitely, act as a success in terms of, giving importance to both personal and professional growth. So these are the key areas that we can talk about success. But definitely for me, it is the contentment, that feeling of satisfaction that I get. That is success.
Got it, ma'am. Ma'am, thanks for connecting with us. This was a really, really insightful conversation that I had with you. I'm very confident that our readers and our viewers will have wonderful insights and takeaways from this interview. But before you leave us, ma'am,
Thank you so much.
like to ask you one last question, which is a very simple question if you look at from the perspective of a student. But as a dean of an institution, I believe that you guys can write books around it. What, according to you, ma'am, is the definition of an MBA? And if you could describe it in less than 10 words.
Right. So it is a capacity building program which develops, enhances the leadership abilities and knowledge. Maybe that.
Wonderful, ma'am. You actually nailed it in the first go, Ali. So thanks a lot for that as well. Thank you for joining with Pagal Guy, ma'am. Have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.